This time on Captain Chaos's Laboratory, we are working on a monster of a house from Holiday Living. It's the Gingerbread Shop, and this thing is huge. And just to give you an idea. So, this might be more of an inspection. I'm not sure if this one's going to be repairable, but it has an off-on switch here, which it turns on, and we have lights and a rotation. But this is supposed to turn on music, and there's nothing. No static, no nothing. So, there's a couple of pieces that are broke off from shipping, apparently. We have a lollipop and peppermint pop. But I know where the one goes. It goes right there. I don't know where the other one goes. So, and this, just from looking at it, uses a CW motor, which means clockwise, counterclockwise. You can see which way they're spinning right now. They're going to the, that way. Off. Now they're going the other way. Every time the power is cycled, it reverses direction. That is very common on AC motors. This is a 120 volt unit. There is no AC adapter. It just powers right off of direct mains power. So if you have to open up this, if you own this or something similar, be very careful. Very good chance of shock. So I'm going to turn it off and unplug it. Here's the plug. So if you have this and it doesn't turn on at all, check the fuse, which is right here. This, so for those who've never seen it, it slides and there you got a fuse. And it's a standard 5 amp. 5 amp glass fuse, which is very standard on animatronic pieces like this. And Department 56 uses a lot of the 5 ampers in their 120 volt plugs. So let's start this process. What do we got on the bottom? We have a split bottom with screws on both halves. The bottom here says Holiday Creations, 1999, made in China, with a number of 19507. And this side says the same thing, except it doesn't have the number. So this bottom's in 2 pieces. It's not going to show up on camera because I can barely even see it. Let's take the right side off first. Well, they definitely don't want you in this thing because it is all safety screws. But my kit should have them. So standard Phillips has got 4 points, and this has 3. And it should, here we go, 3-sided screw. Alright, this guy doesn't have enough oomph. Alright, we're going to take the left side off. The right side's really tight. I wonder if the right side's where all the components are, and they have maybe Loctited the screws in. So both halves have 6 screws. And they probably use the safety screws because it's a 120 volt unit. Matter of fact, this whole roof line is held on with safety screws too. Same ones, the triangular screw heads. I'm going to have to rotate this a little bit, get some leverage on it. This should be the last one. Well, doesn't show a whole lot, does it? There's our motor, which is a definite 120 volt motor. So the circuitry is on this side, if there is any circuitry beyond the motor. Let's see what I can see here. I don't see circuitry, I see a mechanism. Looks like all the circuitry might be housed in this little box. It's right here. Well, let me see if I can get this one off still. Don't think any of my big screwdrivers have the 3 points. No. So, let's try this one again. Definitely tight. Yeah, there's a little access panel here that says to reduce the risk of fire, use only zinc type batteries. What are the batteries for? Well, that's interesting. I wonder if the sound actually works on batteries and they just didn't know it. So if that's the case, this is going to be the fastest, quickest repair ever. Looks like it takes 3. There we go. it didn't do anything. So back to disassembly. Unless it has to be powered on by the 120 volts to make the batteries work, but that doesn't make any sense to me. But we'll see what it looks like once we open this bottom completely. Get the full reveal here. Alright, here's the bottom. This X that marks the spot is the speaker. Battery box goes to the circuit board, which is right there. It does have a blob chip. Which is really cracked. Never a good sign. We have a sound chip. So yeah, the sound only works on the battery box. There is no other option, so maybe these batteries are just bad. Or maybe the ribbon is in the way. Maybe this ribbon got caught into the terminal. Try it one more time. I'm going to reseat the batteries. There we go. So, this is more, if you have this piece, check the batteries. I guess I should have looked around, and apparently the owner of this piece got it saying that it was, the sound didn't work. They got it secondhand, and I'm assuming whoever had this, either they acquired it and didn't know that the sound was completely separate, meaning that it works on battery. So, that's awesome. So now I just gotta screw the bottom back on and remove these twist ties from the base and glue the pieces back on that are broke off. So, like always, let's see what this thing looks like in low light for this, 15-minute video. It looks way better on camera. It really does. Usually the camera is horrible for the lighting. But camera, at least on my viewfinder, these kind of have a amber tone. And in real life they're yellow. Which, to me, it doesn't look that good. The window is white and green. Looks almost red on the camera. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of strange how it shifts the colors a little bit, but there you go. So, battery is not included here. Power lights come to the back. Well, it's got some decent volume for 4 batteries, or 3 batteries, sorry, 4.5 volts. So, this was the how to open it up and see what the inside looks like. of the gingerbread house. Yeah, he gave me a letter saying that there's some broken pieces that need to be re-glued on, the sound doesn't work, and cannot remove the twist ties. So, sound works, twist ties are removed. There you go. So if you have a piece like this, make sure your batteries are good. And I'm going to go ahead and get out some glue, clean up this with some alcohol, because there's some residue on here that's also got dust in it. You can kind of see I can wipe away some of this dust. So I'm going to wipe this thing down, glue this on, figure out where this one goes. Oh, I found it. It goes right there. And then put it back in this box and get it back to its owner. So, anyway, very quick gingerbread house from Holiday Living, which is funny. It says gingerbread house right here, and then it says gingerbread shop right here. So the name, and I'll tip it again so you can see it now. The lights are back on. Let's do that too, so I don't have to listen how loud it is. Gingerbread shop, gingerbread house. So call it what you will, but this is a very large piece. If you happen to find one and they say that the volume doesn't work and they're selling it cheap because of that, maybe it just needs batteries. So, and if you do get this piece, the back is just a standard 120 volt light, nightlight style, C7 bulb. It might be nice and replace it with an LED so it doesn't get so hot, because I can already feel the heat coming off the back of this area right here. Plastic's not hot yet, but the bulb is getting warm, and the LED will, one, last longer, and also two, it won't be near as hot. But you also know what that means, is if you have this piece, you can change the color. So if you wanted to get a red LED or a green LED or a blue LED or an RGB one that rotates, then you can do that too. So it's not too bad yet, still touchable. There we go. And real quick before we shut off the camera here, the reason I usually change out these bulbs for the LEDs, this can be a 5, 6, 8, 10 watt bulb. The LED I just put in is 0.6 watts. It's just as bright, just to prove the point. Just as bright. And doesn't get near as hot, has a life that's longer for its runtime than incandescent. So now that it draws less power, there'll be less stress on the switch or the fuse and your electricity bill, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. Also, this is glass, so if you drop it and step on it, especially if you walk around barefoot, you get sliced up and diced up. Or if you just drop it on your counter and try and sweep it up, you get shards. This bulb is plastic. And if you watched the video on how I made the bright lights bulbs, the first part, I was hitting it with a hammer and couldn't break these things. So they're really durable. So on a safety aspect, especially if you have children around looking at your display, and you don't want them to get burnt or break this and get cut, the LEDs are a much better option. Also, a 25 pack of the LED C7s are like $13. So that's 50 cents a bulb, give or take. These suckers were like, because I still have packs of them, I think my packs say like $4 for 4 or $4 for 5. That's between $1 and, well, like 83 cents a bulb. So the LEDs are a better option. But I usually recommend converting all of them over to LED for temperature and power consumption. Safety is a secondary concern, because if you read any one of these, they're not made for children, and they tell you it's not a toy. So they pretty much cover the safety part in their disclaimer. But if you do have children or something, even pets, and you want to help ensure that you don't get broken glass, considering this is an all plastic house, except for the screws, go with LED. Also, if this is, let's say you have this on the display, like this goes on a display that runs for 5, 6, 7 hours a night during Christmas time. It's a big display that it was actually the person that owns this was on one of the Christmas lights fights shows. The thing gets really hot, and all that heat comes up to this point, and depending on how long you use it, you can, not going to say it's going to happen on this piece because there's a lot of air in here and there's air moving in and out, you can discolor or warp this plastic. So, but anyhow, I'm going to do some cleaning and some gluing and get this thing back in its box and get the box set to go back to its owner. So until the next one, thanks for watching.